In geomorphology, while studying earthquake or seismology, we came across term tsunami. Actually, tsunami is not a seismic wave, rather it is seismogenic wave. There are three types of seismic waves, P, S, L. But tsunami is not a seismic wave, rather seismogenic wave, which is experienced in oceanic water. And the term tsunami comes from the Japanese language. Why tsunami in Japan? Why not in Canada, USA or other countries? It has also a sense or meaning. We will discuss it. But here the spelling of tsunami is TSUNAMIS. Some pronounce it tsunami, that is wrong. Real pronunciation is tsunami. And this term, as we have discussed, that from Japan. And in Japan, on the eastern coast, there are a number of harbors, ports. Harbor is a place of water body. Harbor is a part of water body where ships stay and loading and unloading is practiced there. And harbor water is being disturbed by these waves, which are tsunami caused by earthquake. And tsunami is a large-scale seismic ocean wave, and it travels at a very fast rate. Rate is 600 to 1000 km per hour. Tsunami also covers half world. Suppose it will start from this point, so its intensity will be experienced up to the antipodal point. This is halfway, and this part will be covered by tsunami also. Thus, the maximum intensity and impact will be at this epicenter and hypocenter, while on antipode its intensity will be less. Now, regarding its wave height, so as we know that in deep water the height of tsunami is less. Contrary to it, in shallow water along the coastline on continental shelf and slope, the speed of tsunami or the height of tsunami is maximum. Its height becomes 10 to 15 meter, but sometimes up to 90 meter, 30 meter. That is destructive. Why is it so? Because in deep waters the intensity of tsunami is less, contrary to in shallow water it is high, and this nature is found in man also, because the man of deep temperament speak less, while man of shallow temperament and shallow knowledge speak more. Thus, the nature of ocean, atmosphere are found in man, because man is direct product of nature. Now, after the study of this tsunami, let us understand that the term tsunami differs from tidal waves, currents, and drift. Tsunami, as we have studied that tsunami is seismogenic. Contrary to it, there are tidal waves in oceanic water, which is a type of oceanic disturbance. What is difference between tsunami and tidal waves? In some books, both are synonym. It has been written, but it is not so. There may be a question in UPSC. What is difference between tsunami and tidal waves? So you can answer comfortably. Tidal waves, the origin and arrival of tidal waves is certain. On new moon and full moon, certainly high and spring tide will occur. Contrary to it, the time of tsunami is unknown. and it cannot be comfortably predicted because it is seismogenic and earthquakes cannot be predicted till date comfortably. Now, the second one disturbance is wave in oceanic water. The main cause of this is wind, while the main cause of tsunami is earthquake. Main cause of tidal wave is moon and sun. Main cause of this wave is wind, that we will discuss in detail. And here, this is current. The main cause of current is the difference in salinity and wind also in the oceanic water. And drift is also a phenomena of oceanic water or a type of disturbance or movement of oceanic water in which the currents move in open oceans, not along the coastline. For example, North Atlantic drift, North Pacific drift. So, these are the oceanic disturbances. The question may be on these to discuss in detail. But here, we have to discuss the tsunami in detail. Current, wave, these will be discussed in different videos. Now let us try to understand the causes of tsunami. There are a number of causes which can be categorized in two. Number one, natural causes, and number two, human or man-induced causes. In natural causes, first is earthquake, as we have discussed. Due to earthquake and P wave from epicenter, if it is underwater or in water body, then from that epicenter tsunami waves will originate and spread out in all directions and cause damage. And its one list has been given separately in next board. Second one is volcanic eruption. Actually, if magma comes comfortably through the fissure, then there are least chances of earthquake. But if it is central eruption, then magma forcefully comes up and makes pressure in the adjoining areas, which causes seismic waves, earthquake and tsunami in oceanic water. The volcanic eruptions, as we will discuss in world distribution, occur mostly along the circum-Pacific fire ring. That's why along that fire ring there is seismic belt also. That's why tsunami generally occurs in the seismic belt around the Pacific Ocean. But in North Atlantic Ocean, there is a mid-Atlantic ridge on which Iceland is located, and on that Iceland, due to volcanic eruption, once tsunami occurred. Next point is landslide. Actually, if mountain is located along a coast or sea and there is a sudden landslide, then that major or minor part of land falls rapidly in oceanic water and causes disturbance. Actually, that is not tsunami, that is not seismogenic tsunami, but that has been put in the category of tsunami. Its one example has been traced in Greenland to the west coast of Greenland, because the western margin of Greenland is mountainous. Next is glacial carving. Glacial carving means if there is mountain having glaciers or snow-capped peaks just beside a sea or coastline, and the glaciers start from mountains and suddenly fall in water body, then it is glacial carving. And this phenomena is noteworthy, or it is noted in Norway and Sweden along its west coast, because there Scandinavian mountain is ice-capped. Next is meteorites. When meteorites fall on the earth, about 71% of the earth is made up of water body. And if they fall in ocean or water body, they create a disturbance in oceanic water and very high waves are being raised. Actually, those waves are meteoritic, but those are considered in the category of tsunami. Next is Meteor-tsunami. Meteor-tsunami means, meteo means meteorological. Meteorological means pertaining to weather. Sometimes weather conditions also cause tsunami or oceanic disturbance, in which there is a barometric pressure difference. When and where barometric pressure will differ, you will have to see the map along 60 and 65 degree north latitude, where there is low pressure, barometric low pressure. Contrary to it, from north pole, the cold waves are coming, creating high pressure, and from south, the westerlies, warm winds are blowing towards that subpolar low pressure belt. Thus, in north and in south, there is pressure difference, and due to pressure difference, wind is blowing, and due to that wind, the ocean water is also being disturbed, and it causes tsunami there, which is called meteor-tsunami. This mostly occurs in north hemisphere along 60-65 degree north latitude, not in south hemisphere, because in south hemisphere there is a circum-Antarctica current that continuously moves from west to east. So these are the main causes which are natural for tsunami generation. And next point is here man-made, wherein nuclear test is very important, as there are two types of nuclear test, one land-based and other ocean-based. So today our scientists are doing this nuclear test practice in oceanic water. For example, France did this task near Mururoa et al. In South Pacific Ocean to the west of South America continent. Due to that test, Mururoa et al. Experienced earthquake and cracks were developed, and in adjoining areas tsunami waves were generated. So if we will do any work, this type of work in ocean body, that will create some wave and that will be categorized in tsunami. After understanding definition and causes of tsunami, let us understand its distribution in world. Here on this map, the main events of tsunami have been given, and here in this table, the main incidents also have been given. So what does this map depict? After a glance on this map, it is very easy to know that tsunami events take place in a line. Suppose here this is one line along which tsunami incidents have taken place. This is the second line where tsunami have taken place. What does it show? It shows that in circum-Pacific belt, that is seismic belt, this one and this one, and this is also a fire ring where volcanic eruptions take place. So this is the line or circum-Pacific tsunami belt where tsunami take place. Why tsunami occur here? Because most of the destructive earthquakes take place here. Why destructive earthquakes take place here? Why earthquakes of very high intensity magnitude on Richter scale take place here? It is a very simple to answer, because here there is a destructive plate margin. As we know that this Eurasian plate is moving eastward, while this Pacific plate is moving westward, with the result here along this line Pacific plate under sea waters is experiencing heavy thrust or mega thrust, means subduction at a very high rate. Due to subduction, the material melts in asthenosphere and tries to come up, causing volcano, but if fails, then earthquake. So that's why earthquake or seismogenic tsunami take place here. This line also can be explained by the tectonics. For example, North American plate and South American plates are moving west, while East Pacific plate is moving eastward. Thus, here is a subduction belt as to the east of Eurasian plate. That's why here, due to subduction, volcanic activities are taking place simultaneously. Here, earthquakes also take, and then seismogenic tsunami are taking place. And till recent years, this Atlantic Ocean was free from tsunami incidents, but now tsunami are also taking place here. For example, here near Iceland, tsunami has taken place. Why? Because here in the middle of Atlantic Ocean, here is a mid-Atlantic ridge. On that, this Iceland is located, on which there is a Hekla volcanic eruption place. And when here is volcanic eruption, due to volcanic activity, sometimes earthquakes take place, and thus here seismogenic tsunami take place. Here this is Greenland, and here also tsunami due to heavy landslide occurs. That's why Atlantic Ocean is also not free from tsunami, rather it is also tsunami prone. But UPSC may ask question, why most of the tsunami take place in Pacific Ocean? You can explain it. And here this is a table of major tsunami events. For example, this is Sumatra Tsunami or Sumatra Island Tsunami. Occurred on 26 December 2004, and its wave height was 33 meters and the earthquake magnitude was 9.3 and the people killed 230,000. Why here tsunami occurred on the west coast of Sumatra in 2004, and then in Java 2006. You are seeing here a linear position. There may be a short answer question that why Indonesia is tsunami prone, earthquake prone. It should be explained with the help of tectonic. As we know that Indian plate is moving northeastward, and to the northeast side of Indian plate, this is a Pacific plate that is also oceanic. Indian plate is also oceanic. So along this line there is a fracture zone which is affected by volcanic eruptions. But if volcanoes fail like Krakatoa and others, if volcano fails, then earthquake tremors are experienced there, and due to earthquakes tsunami are generated. So here, due to submergence of this Indian plate within this Pacific plate, these incidents are taking place. And here is underwater or submarine mega thrust. Mega thrust means large scale buckling of Indian plate below this Pacific plate. And here is one line that we will study in oceanography, Wallace line, a naturalist Wallace, who drew a line along these islands like Sumatra, Java, Bali, Lombok, and along this line, naturalist Wallace drew a line to the north of which there is Pacific Ocean, to the south of which it is Indian Ocean, and this line separates the phyto and zooplanktons of Pacific Ocean as well as Indian Ocean. That is the subject matter of oceanography. But here we are studying that the Indian plate subducted below Burmese plate due to that underwater megathrust tsunami taking place. Why in Japan tsunami takes place, we have already discussed it. And why the term tsunami has come from Japan. Because in Japan there are harbors where ships stay, and this is harbor wave. Why not harbor wave in here China, Australia, here USA, Canada or Chile? Because there are, first thing, not so much harbors. Japan has a number of harbors, ports. Why? Because Japan has less natural resource but highly industrialized on the basis of imported material from foreign countries. That's why the economy of Japan largely depends on the import and export, for which here harbors have been developed. And this is seismic or tsunami prone. That's why this term comes from Japanese tsunami. Now, this tsunami in Sumatra in 2004 caused 33-meter high wave and maximum number of killing in this list. And these waves spread in all directions. The waves moved northwestward and affected the Tamil Nadu coast, Bangladesh coast, and these came directly west and hit the east coast of Africa continent, west coast of Australia, Indonesia, Malaysia. All these were being affected. It means there may be independent question that Sumatra earthquake or Sumatra tsunami in 2004 had large impact on the coastal countries of Indian Ocean. Discuss. So with map you should explain this. Likewise, you will note down all the incidents and see this chapter. See this table, their date, their height and their magnitude impact. Now there may be a question why tsunami incidents here again in linear position. So it is Samoa Island and it is Solomon Island. Samoa Island is located in Oceania. What is Oceania? You should today make it clear that Oceania is a group of islands to the northeast of Australia. This is Australia. What is Australasia? Is also a geographical region that you should learn that this is Australia and the southern part of Asia. Austral means southern, Australasia, Asia and Austral. That's why Australasia is different region, Australia is continent and Oceania is a group of islands in water body. In Oceania there is a Melanesia, Micronesia and Polynesia. This Samoa and Western Samoa is a country and island of Polynesia, while this Solomon Island is part of Melanesia, and here it is New Zealand, which consists of the volcanic rock. Why volcanic rock? Because this is a line along which volcanic activities take place. Why volcanic activity? Because here again a tectonic belt. Why tectonic belt? Because to its west it is Australian plate. As we have studied that previously there was one plate, Indo-Australian plate, but now along this 90 east ridge, Australian plate has got separated from Indian plate. That's why this is boundary of Australian plate, this one. And to the north of Australian plate, to the east of Australian plate, there is a Pacific plate. And between these two plates, along this margin, there is tectonic activity, earthquake and tsunami incidents take place. Why and how tsunami occurs in these regions? So these are the major events happened in British Columbia, Canada, and here in Chile. But a number of micro tsunami incidents occur to the west of this Rockies and Andes mountains because that is tectonically sensitive. So this is about the distribution of tsunami in world. It means this Indian Ocean is tsunami prone, but the largest incidents of tsunami take place in Pacific Ocean. But this Atlantic Ocean is nearly free from tsunami except in the northern part. Along the eastern coast of North America, South America, and along the west coast of European countries and African countries, there is no tsunami. Why? Because these have no plate margins and no earthquakes occur along these. Means circum-Atlantic belt is free from volcano, free from earthquake, free from tsunami. Thus, the total result is that along destructive plate margins, tsunami occur. But once a student asks question that, sir, here there is a destructive plate margin that starts from Zagros, Hindu Kush, Himalayas, and Araucanian. This is affected by destructive plate margin and it is also destructive plate margin. So, why tsunami does not occur here? There may be a question in UPSC this way, that whether the tsunami occurs along all the destructive plate margins or not. So, you should explain that along this destructive plate margin, which has continental area, tsunami will not be experienced because there is no water body. But here, if there is water body and destructive plate margin, only then tsunami will take place. Now, let us come to this table, and in this table, the locations, it is your moral duty to locate it on the world map, and dates, if possible, you should keep in mind because in date there is no any science or to think. But the height, you should consider that where maximum heights are there, it means the places where there will be large scale tremors, then the height will be according to that. But you should compare these two data because it is your duty, and in PCS, in statistics, there are some questions wherein a table is given and you are expected to compare two data whether there is any relationship. Means the maximum the intensity, the more the height, or there is no relationship. If there is no relationship, it means some other factors like structure and depth of water are responsible for that. And likewise, you should compare this data of height and this data of depth. Means the more the height, the more the depth. but sometimes height is less, depth is much, and height is more, depth is less. This should also be explained by you, why and how, because here the depth depends on the intensity of the settlement and population. If that coastal plain is flat, extensive, people, cultural landscape are in large scale, then low intensity or low height tsunami can kill more. But if coastline is higher, where tsunami up to 33 feet high cannot approach, then they will be not so much destructive. So this practice you should also do, because in PCS sometimes questions are given that convert this table into map. Suppose this is a question, convert this table into map, because this map is easy to understand. Locations are there, dates are there, all the informations are there. But sometimes this map is given and you are expected to convert that into table. Sometimes this table is given and you are expected to show it with the help of a diagram. Sometimes diagram is given, diagram like bar graph, polygraph, and you are expected to convert that into this table, because these three are the tools in the hand of geographer and the geography writer, maybe book writer or maybe IAS and PCS main examination writer. And as we know that geography is a multilingual subject. Multilingual means three language. In writing answer, you should use these tables. You should at the same time express this table with the help of this map, and at the same time you should draw here a flow chart or diagram. That's why 1, 2, 3 multilingual subject geography, and this has a good impact on the examiner. After knowing the definition and distribution of tsunami in world, now let us understand its impact and the tsunami forecasting. Regarding impact, the tsunami has impact on oceanic water and in coastal area. As we know that in open seas there is no cultural or natural landscape, but in coastal regions of continents or countries, there are two types of landscape, one natural, second man-made. So natural landscapes are also damaged, while cultural landscapes are also subject to tsunami. Thus, let us consider the list of the natural landscape, how those are being damaged. Number one is mangrove vegetation. As we know that mangroves are found in large scale along coastal area. For example, in India, especially along Gujarat coast, Kerala coast, and these mangrove vegetations are uprooted by the strong and high tsunami waves. So this is one natural hazard. Second point is coastal tidal forest. Along the tidal coast, for example in India, along eastern coastal plain, where a number of rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri develop extensive deltas, and in those deltas the marine tidal waves come, where there are green forests, and those forests are also being uprooted by high tsunami waves. Thus, this is a natural disaster, marine disaster, and causes a loss to this flora and fauna. Third is forms of agro-silvo aquaculture. Actually, this may be put in this category of man-induced, What is agro-silvo aquaculture? Along coastal plains where there is low-lying area and there is 2 or 3 feet deep ocean water, there silvo means some natural vegetations grow which provide firewood to the fishermen there, and in that 2-3 feet deep, because this is natural vegetation between the plants, there aquaculture is being practiced because marine fish are found there, and some farmers in their field grow rice also. So such farms along coastline are called agro-silvo aquaculture, where farmers all the basic needs means the firewood and fish and rice are being fulfilled and their livelihood is comfortable. So this landscape that is semi-natural is also being damaged. Next is marine national parks and sanctuaries. All over world in coastal region, to protect the marine environment, most of the governments have developed marine national parks and sanctuaries, as these are found overland in the same way in coastal areas. For example, in Gujarat, there is one marine national park. Near Bombay, in Arabian Sea, there is Malvan Marine National Park, Gujarat Sanctuary. In Andamar, Vandur National Park. Likewise, in India, there are several marine national parks and sanctuaries just to protect and preserve marine phyto and zooplanktons. But tsunami never leave them undamaged. These are also affected by the tsunami. Next is crops like rice and coconut along coastline damaged. This also can be put in the man-induced category because rice is grown by man, but coconut are the natural forest vegetation found in coastland. That's why this is common here in natural and man-induced also. So the crops of rice and coconut are being damaged by the tsunami. Next is coastal erosional and depositional landforms damaged. In coastland, as we know that marine waves develop a number of erosional landforms and develop beachland, and on beach a number of landforms like lagoon and hooks, spits, where the tourists go and enjoy. But when tsunami comes, that never leaves these landscape. For example, 2000 tsunami of Sumatra did not leave the tourist point in Nicobar, that was the Indira point, that was being damaged by high amplitude tsunami. Next is delta scape transformed. Along the delta region, there are a number of distributaries and micro-fluvial landforms. When tsunami comes, tsunami wipes all the landscapes away. Thus, it creates a problem to the fishermen and to fluvial geomorphologists and common man. So, this is a list of natural hazards caused by tsunami. Now, let us come to cultural landscape or man-induced features. Number 1, rural linear settlements of fishermen. As we know that fishermen develop their rural settlement in a linear form along the coastline, and the face of their huts is towards the ocean, and they are well aware of all the oceanic activities and practice fishing there. But when 30 meter or 10 meter high tsunami comes, those tsunami does not leave their huts, and all these villages are being washed away, and submerge in the marine water. Second is townscape. As we know that all over the world, a number of towns have been established along the coast. For example, in India, Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, etc. And when tsunami comes, that enters the cities and destroys a number of landscape and especially townscape. Next is wirescape, pipescape and farmscape. Wirescape means in the urban areas there is a network of electricity. There are pipe, there are poles and wires that is being damaged. This is wirescape. Pipescape means pipeline to transport, to carry water or other things that is not also left by the tsunami. Farmscape means along the coastal region in rural sectors there are agricultural lands that are also washed away. Next point is flood and waterborne diseases. As we know that if 10 meter or 30 meter high tsunami will enter the coastal land, the entire water will not recede back to the ocean water body. Rather, in some deep areas along the coast or lakes or lagoons, some water will remain there, and due to that stagnant water, some waterborne diseases are being created, and this causes a flood and a disease. Next point is ships, boats are also damaged. As you know that along the harbors there are ships of international level and there are shipping ports, there are fishing harbors where small boats for fishing purposes stay. But tsunami without information comes and damages this type of man-made things. So these are the damages of two categories caused by tsunami. Now let us come to the point tsunami warning. Tsunami is fatal and it is a natural, environmental or say oceanographic catastrophe. That's why people are afraid of it, because without any prior information it hits the coastland. For example, the Tamil Nadu coast in 2004, and its main cause is that we cannot predict earthquake. There is no system, but man is leaving no stone unturned in predicting the tsunami. Here first thing is that Pacific Tsunami Warning System Honolulu, Hawaii Island has been established. Why Pacific Tsunami Warning System? Why not Atlantic Tsunami Warning System? We have already discussed it, because Atlantic Ocean experiences minimum number of tsunami, while Pacific Ocean experiences largest number of tsunami. That's why Pacific Tsunami Warning System has been established in Honolulu. You might be aware of the location of Honolulu. It is on Hawaii Island. Where is Hawaii Island? Along 20° north latitude in North Hemisphere to the west of North America continent in East Pacific Ocean. So this system is working properly. And second point is some computer models have been developed which experience tsunami few minutes before their arrival, and such sensitive computer models predict tsunami, but few minutes is not sufficient for the people to move away from there with their cultural landscape or luggage. But this is an effort in this direction and successful effort. Next is bottom pressure sensors can also tell about the arrival of tsunami. In oceanic bottom there are some machines or instruments installed which predict the pressure change. As we know that the oceanic water has a vertical pressure on ocean bottom. As tsunami comes, the oceanic water upsurges, and that's why its pressure is being changed. This is sensed by such sensitive computers, and on the basis of this, we can know that tsunami is about to come. And next point is all Pacific Rim countries have collaborated in this tsunami warning system. This point we have already discussed, that why only Pacific countries, because those are being affected and those have collaborated in this direction just to protect their people and their material. So these are the impacts of tsunami, and these are the tsunami warning steps taken by the government of world. So we have discussed in this video what is definition of tsunami and what are the causes of tsunami, what is distribution of tsunami, and how tsunami is affecting us badly, and what are the steps taken to predict the tsunami.